take you on a visual journey through time and reveal the incredible stories behind each snapshot. Get ready to completely change your perspective. In 1960, Ormond Gigley captured 43 women in vibrant clothing across 41 windows of New York's brownstones. The striking image later became his most renowned piece of artwork, workers having lunch on a steel beam high above the city, captured in a daring moment. Taken in 1032, it symbolizes the resilience and hard work of construction workers during a time of rapid urban growth. The RCA building, under construction in December 1933, part of the iconic Rockefeller Center. The image highlights the ambitious scale of the project during the early stages of its development. A leading stoker nicknamed Popeye, with 21 years of service, fought aboard the HMS Rodney in 1940. Stoker remains the colloquial term for a marine engineering rating in the Royal Navy, highlighting the vital role of these sailors in maintaining the ship's power during battle. The identity of the photographer behind the famous lunch atop a skyscraper remains unclear. Captured in 1932, the image continues to intrigue, with its bold portrayal of construction workers at great heights. In 1960, Ormond Gigley photographed the demolition of a building at what is now 320 East 58th Street in New York. The image captures a moment of change in the city's ever-evolving landscape. In 1957, Dorothy Counts, a brave teenager, challenged segregation by attending a previously all-white school. Her courageous act became a powerful symbol of the civil rights movement. On September 13, 1962, test pilot George Aird ejected from his English Electric Lightning F-1 aircraft at a dangerously low altitude in Hatfield, Hertfordshire. The dramatic moment highlighted the risks faced by test pilots during this era. The wreckage of the Lightning rests on the airfield, just short of the runway, beyond the greenhouses where George Aird landed. The scene captures the aftermath of a close call during a daring ejection in 1962. On October 24, 1962, U.S. President John F. Kennedy addressed the nation in a televised speech, announcing the strategic blockade of Cuba. He warned the Soviet Union about missile sanctions during the height of the Cuban Missile Crisis. This image is often captioned as, "Two Armenian women pose with their rifles before going to battle against the Ottomans, 1895. It captures the strength and bravery of Armenian women during a turbulent time in history. Their resolve reflects the resilience of those fighting for survival and justice. The graves of 3 aircrew from No. 39 Squadron RAF are located in front of the wreckage of their Martin, Maryland Mark II, southwest of Gazala. The scene marks a somber reminder of the lives lost during World War II. In 1968, the Earthrise photo was taken during the Apollo 8 mission, showing Earth rising above the moon's horizon. This iconic image offered a stunning perspective of our planet, highlighting its fragility and unity. It became a symbol of environmental awareness and the shared responsibility of humanity. In 1945, the mushroom cloud over Nagasaki marked the devastating aftermath of the second atomic bomb dropped on Japan. The image symbolizes the immense destruction caused by nuclear warfare. It remains a powerful reminder of the horrors of war and the need for peace. On VJ Day in 1945, a spontaneous celebration erupted in Times Square, New York, as the news of Japan's surrender spread. The famous kiss between a sailor and a nurse captured the joy and relief of marking the end of World War II. The moment became an iconic symbol of victory and peace. In 1995, the Pillars of Creation image captured vast columns of gas and dust in the Eagle Nebula, taken by the Hubble Space Telescope. The stunning photograph reveals the birth of new stars within these cosmic structures. It remains one of the most iconic images in space exploration. In 1969, astronaut Neil Armstrong became the first person to walk on the moon during the Apollo 11 mission. His iconic words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," marked a historic achievement. The image of him on the lunar surface symbolizes human ingenuity and exploration. In 1943, a Jewish boy raised his hands in surrender during the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. The powerful image captures the heartbreaking moment of innocence amidst the horrors of the Holocaust. It stands as a stark reminder of the suffering endured during this tragic chapter of history. In 1960, the iconic Guerrillero Heroico photograph of Che Guevara was taken by Alberto Korda. The image, showcasing Guevara's intense gaze, became a symbol of revolutionary struggle and resilience. It remains one of the most recognized portraits in history. In 1948, the Dali Atomicus photograph captured surrealist artist Salvador Dali in midair, surrounded by flying objects and splashing water. The image, created by photographer Felipe Halsman, embodies the fusion of art and science. It became one of the most famous surrealist photos, reflecting Dali's creative genius. In 1945, the iconic image of 6 U.S. Marines raising the American flag on Mount Suribachi during the Battle of Iwo Jima captured a moment of victory. The photograph symbolized the bravery and sacrifice of the soldiers during one of the bloodiest battles of World War II. It became a symbol of patriotism and determination. In 1908, the Cotton Mill Girl photograph captured a young worker in a southern cotton mill, showcasing the harsh realities of child labor. The image highlighted the struggles faced by factory workers, especially women and children, during the early 20th century. It became a powerful symbol for labor reform and social justice. In 1934, Adolf Hitler was photographed at a Nazi party rally, delivering a powerful and unsettling speech to a massive crowd. The image captured the intensity of his propaganda and the growing influence of the Nazi regime. It remains a haunting symbol of the dangers of authoritarianism and mass manipulation. In 1946, Mahatma Gandhi was photographed with a spinning wheel, symbolizing India's struggle for independence and self-reliance. The image reflected his commitment to nonviolent resistance and the promotion of local craftsmanship. It became an iconic representation of his leadership in the Indian independence movement. In 1964, the Pillow Fight photograph captured a playful and surreal moment between artist Andy Warhol and actor Taylor Mead. The image, full of energy and spontaneity, reflected the experimental and avant-garde spirit of the 1960s. It became a memorable representation of Warhol's creative and unconventional approach to art. In 1997, the first ever cell phone picture was taken using a Sharp JSH-04, a revolutionary device in mobile technology. The photo, a simple shot of a nearby scene, marked the beginning of a new era in photography and communication. It became a milestone in the evolution of smartphones and mobile photography. In 1945, Soviet soldiers raised the flag over the Reichstag in Berlin, symbolizing the fall of Nazi Germany. The iconic moment captured the victory of the Allies in World War II and marked the end of the Third Reich. It remains a powerful symbol of triumph and the cost of war. In 1963, Nuit de Noël captured a serene winter night in Paris, showcasing the city's festive holiday spirit. The image, often associated with the beauty of Christmas, reflected a peaceful moment amidst the hustle and bustle of the season. It remains a timeless representation of holiday charm and elegance. In 1968, the Black Power salute was famously raised by Olympic athletes Tommy Smith and John Carlos during the medal ceremony at the Mexico City Olympics. The image became a powerful symbol of protest against racial injustice and a call for equality. It remains one of the most iconic moments in sports activism. In 1860, a portrait of Abraham Lincoln was captured as he was campaigning for the presidency. The image, with his somber expression, became iconic as it reflected his leadership during the turbulent years leading into the Civil War. It symbolizes his determination to preserve the Union and end slavery. Around 1888, Bandit's Roost captured a gritty, candid scene of street life in New York City's Lower East Side. The photograph by Jacob Riis highlighted the harsh living conditions in immigrant neighborhoods, showcasing the need for social reform. It became a powerful visual representation of urban poverty and inequality. In 1904, The Vanishing Race captured a group of Navajo men riding horseback across a desert landscape. The photograph, taken by Edward S. Curtis, symbolized the fading Native American culture in the face of westward expansion. It remains a poignant reminder of the struggles faced by indigenous peoples in the early 20th century. In 1960, Case Study House Number 22, designed by architect Pierre Koenig, showcased modernist architecture in Los Angeles. The striking steel and glass structure was a bold example of mid-century design, blending seamlessly with its natural surroundings. It became an iconic symbol of innovative American architecture during the post-war era. In 1934, the famous Surgeon's photo captured what appeared to be the Loch Ness Monster swimming in Scotland's Loch Ness. The blurry image sparked widespread fascination and debate, becoming one of the most iconic and enduring mysteries in cryptozoology. It continues to fuel speculation about the creature's existence. In 1942, Grant Wood's American Gothic depicted a farmer and his daughter standing solemnly in front of a Gothic-style house. The painting became an iconic symbol of rural American life during the Great Depression, capturing both resilience and stoicism. It remains one of the most recognizable works of American art. In 1968, Soviet troops and Warsaw Pact forces invaded Prague, crushing the Prague Spring reform movement in Czechoslovakia. The image of tanks rolling through the streets symbolized the harsh suppression of political freedoms and the end of hopes for liberalization. It became a powerful visual of Cold War tensions and Soviet dominance in Eastern Europe. In 1941, Winston Churchill was photographed during a visit to the United States, where he strengthened ties with President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The image of Churchill, with his iconic cigar and determined expression, symbolized his leadership and resolve during World War II. It remains a powerful representation of his wartime leadership. In 1972, the Munich massacre occurred during the Summer Olympics, when 11 Israeli athletes were taken hostage and murdered by the Palestinian terrorist group Black September. The tragic event shocked the world and brought attention to the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It remains a somber moment in Olympic history and global politics. In 1953, Camelot captured the youthful energy and hope surrounding President John F. Kennedy's inauguration. The image became a symbol of a new era of idealism and ambition in American politics. In 1936, the photograph The Falling Soldier by Robert Capa captured a Spanish Republican soldier at the moment of his death during the Spanish Civil War. The image became one of the most iconic war photographs, symbolizing the brutal realities of conflict. It remains a powerful representation of sacrifice and the human cost of war. In 1963, the image of a young African-American girl walking past a group of protesting police dogs in Birmingham, Alabama, highlighted the intense racial segregation and violence in the American South. The photograph became a powerful symbol of the civil rights movement, illustrating the courage of those fighting for equality. It remains a stark reminder of the struggles for justice and freedom. In 1948, Country Doctor by W. Eugene Smith captured a rural doctor tending to a patient in a dimly lit, humble home. The image became an iconic representation of dedication and the challenges faced by healthcare workers in rural America. In 1955, Dovima with Elephants captured the elegance of model Dovima in a stunning fashion pose alongside two elephants at a Parisian circus. The image became a timeless symbol of high fashion, juxtaposed with the wild, showcasing both grace and drama. In 1855, the Valley of the Shadow of Death captured a battlefield scene during the Crimean War, showing a road littered with cannonballs. The haunting image, taken by Roger Fenton, symbolizes the grim reality of war and the toll it takes on soldiers. In 1907, The Steerage by Alfred Stieglitz captured the lives of immigrants aboard a ship heading to America. The photograph, with its striking composition, symbolizes the contrasts between social classes and the journey of hope for a better life. In 1932, Couple in Raccoon Coats captured a fashionable couple posing in raccoon fur coats during the Great Depression. The image symbolized the contrast between the economic hardships of the time and the enduring desire for luxury and style. In 1928, Bricklayer by Martin Munkachi captured a powerful image of a laborer mid-action on a construction site. The photograph highlighted the physical strength and determination of workers during the early 20th century. In 1930, The Hague captured a poignant moment of everyday life in the Dutch city, reflecting its calm streets and unique architectural beauty. The image serves as a snapshot of Europe during a time of change, offering a glimpse into the peaceful prelude to the upheavals of the coming decade. In 1936, the Fort Peck Dam in Montana was completed, captured in striking photographs showing its massive scale. The image symbolizes the triumph of engineering during the Great Depression and the role of New Deal projects in shaping America's infrastructure. In 1978, untitled film Still 21 by Cindy Sherman captured a self-portrait of the artist in a cinematic, noir-inspired setting. The photograph explores themes of identity and the role of women in media, becoming a significant piece in Sherman's iconic series. In 1973, Allende's Last Stand captured the final moments of Chilean President Salvador Allende during the military coup. The image symbolizes his defiant stance and the tragic end of his government, marking a pivotal moment in Chilean history. In 2013, a photograph from North Korea captured the country's intense military parades and nationalistic displays. The image highlighted the regime's power and control, showcasing the isolated nation's strong emphasis on unity and military strength. In 1943, The Critic by Norman Rockwell depicted a man scrutinizing a painting, humorously capturing the difference between the artist's intent and the critic's perspective. The image became a witty commentary on the world of art and the subjective nature of criticism. In 1966, the image of Chairman Mao swimming in the Yangtze River symbolized his vitality and leadership. The photograph was staged as part of Mao's efforts to reinforce his image during the Cultural Revolution, presenting him as a man of strength and determination. In the 1930s, stunning vintage photos of car wrecks revealed the dangers of early automobile travel before the advent of seatbelts and airbags. These images highlighted the vulnerability of drivers and passengers, offering a stark contrast to today's safety standards. On October 23, 1956, Stalin's monument was torn down by enraged anti-Soviet crowds during Hungary's October Revolution. The act symbolized the rejection of Soviet control and the desire for political freedom in Hungary. Photographer Dan Farrell, who took the photo, called it the saddest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. The powerful image captured a moment of deep sorrow and loss, reflecting the emotional weight of the situation. It became a haunting reminder of the human cost of conflict and hardship. In 1920, a World War I veteran ran alongside the coach of King George V, asking for money. It's striking how close one could get to the king, especially considering the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand just 6 years earlier, which had sparked the Great War. This moment serves as a poignant contrast between royal accessibility and the tragic events that led to global conflict. On the 23rd of August, 1989, 2 million people in Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia formed a human chain stretching over 400 miles. This peaceful protest symbolized their resistance to Soviet oppression and their desire for independence from communism. The event became a powerful display of unity and determination. In 1908, escape artist Harry Houdini, locked in chains, prepared to take a 30-foot plunge off the Harvard Bridge into the Charles River in Boston. With 20,000 spectators, including the mayors of Boston and Cambridge, watching, Houdini confidently performed the daring stunt, resurfacing 40 seconds later with the shackles in his hands. In 1900, this photo captured coal miners in Belgium crammed into a mine elevator after a long day's work. The image reflects the harsh and cramped conditions miners endured during the Industrial Revolution. In the early 1930s, Albert Einstein was photographed playing the violin, a passion he cherished alongside his scientific work. Despite being famous for his theory of relativity, Einstein once said his greatest joy was music, having played both the violin and piano since childhood. The Great Blizzard of 1888 was one of the most severe blizzards in American history, paralyzing the East Coast with snow reaching up to 58 inches. The photograph shows a young man standing on Madison Avenue in New York City amidst the storm's aftermath, highlighting the extreme conditions that led to the push for underground infrastructure. In 1920, the Michelin Man, the official mascot of the Michelin Tire Company, was introduced. The Michelin star restaurant rating system also originated from Michelin's efforts to encourage road trips, increasing tire sales by guiding travelers to dining destinations. In 1945, the RMS Queen Elizabeth arrived in New York at the end of World War II, carrying returning soldiers. Though it appears overcrowded, the ship, with a capacity of over 15,000 troops, had everyone on deck as it pulled into the harbor, marking a triumphant return. In 1940, amidst the Blitz bombing of London, a bride refused to let the air raid steal her wedding day. Despite the German bombing campaign, she carried on with her ceremony, embodying resilience during the darkest days of World War II. Adam Rayner, born in 1899 in Austria, holds the unique distinction of being both a dwarf and a giant. Initially standing at just 3 feet 8 inches by the age of 19, a tumor on his pituitary gland caused an unexpected growth spurt, making him over 7 feet tall by the age of 29. In 1909, a Coca-Cola delivery truck was seen bringing the iconic beverage to customers, marking the beginning of the brand's widespread reach. This moment symbolizes Coca-Cola's long history of delivering refreshment and joy across generations. In 1939, Mahatma Gandhi wrote a letter to Adolf Hitler, urging him to avoid war and seek peace. The letter, part of his collection of selected writings, reflected Gandhi's commitment to nonviolence and his plea for humanity in the face of impending global conflict. After the Allied bombings of Dresden in World War II, the city lay in ruins, with its historic architecture reduced to rubble. The devastation, which occurred in February 1945, became one of the most controversial air raids, resulting in significant loss of life and cultural heritage. Fidel Castro is seen holding Michael Trudeau, the son of Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, during a visit to Cuba. This moment symbolizes the strong diplomatic and personal ties between Cuba and Canada, reflecting a period of close relations during the Cold War. In 1913, a legal loophole allowed babies to be sent by mail in the U.S., with some infants being shipped to relatives as parcel post. This unusual practice was banned in 1920 after receiving widespread attention, highlighting the oddities of early postal regulations. In 1936, a car elevator in Chicago showcased innovative engineering that allowed vehicles to be lifted and stored in high-rise buildings. This invention reflected the city's booming architecture, while the reference to dialectical materialism ties to broader intellectual movements during that time. In 1946, the first photograph taken from space was captured by a rocket launched from New Mexico. The black and white image offered humanity its first glimpse of Earth from above, marking a significant milestone in space exploration. An underwater detonation of a nuclear bomb creates a massive explosion, sending shock waves through the water and creating a towering column of water vapor and debris. This powerful visual was often used in nuclear tests to study the effects of underwater nuclear explosions on ships and submarines. Building the Hoover Dam, completed in the early 1930s, was a monumental engineering feat. The construction required thousands of workers and innovative techniques to harness the Colorado River and create one of the largest concrete structures in the world. The moment they opened King Tut's tomb in 1922, archaeologist Howard Carter and his team uncovered a stunning array of treasures. The discovery revealed the wealth and mystery of ancient Egypt, capturing the world's imagination and bringing global attention to Egyptology. The launch of the Titanic in 1912 marked a historic moment in maritime history, as the ship was hailed as the largest and most luxurious ocean liner of its time. Despite its grandeur, the Titanic's tragic sinking just months later became one of the most infamous maritime disasters in history. Mark Twain and Nikola Tesla, captured together in a playful moment, experimented with electricity in Tesla's laboratory in the late 19th century. Twain, a fan of Tesla's work, was fascinated by the scientist's innovations, and the two shared a mutual admiration for the wonders of science and technology. One of the first expeditions to Antarctica took place in the early 20th century, led by explorers like Ernest Shackleton and Robert Falcon Scott. These daring missions revealed the harsh, uncharted landscape of the frozen continent, marking significant milestones in polar exploration. George Washington, along with other U.S. presidents, was carved into Mount Rushmore in the 1930s as part of a monumental project led by sculptor Gutzon Borglum. The carving symbolizes the nation's history and ideals, with Washington representing the birth of the United States and its founding principles. President Abraham Lincoln at Antietam refers to his visit to the battlefield in 1862, following the bloodiest single-day battle of the Civil War. His presence symbolized the gravity of the war and his commitment to preserving the Union, paving the way for the Emancipation Proclamation. St. Paul's Cathedral, standing resilient after the Blitz, became a symbol of hope during World War II. Despite severe bombing raids that devastated much of London, the cathedral remained largely untouched, its survival representing the spirit of defiance and endurance in the face of destruction. The bomb known as Fat Man was the second atomic bomb dropped during World War II on Nagasaki in August 1945. Its immense destructive power, combined with the earlier bombing of Hiroshima, led to Japan's surrender and marked the end of the war. Albert Einstein, enjoying a lighthearted moment at the Grand Canyon, is captured in a rare, relaxed photo. This image shows the renowned physicist, known for his groundbreaking theories, taking a break from his intense work to appreciate one of nature's most awe-inspiring wonders. A rare photo of the Gettysburg Address shows Abraham Lincoln delivering his iconic speech during the Civil War. This image, one of the few captured at the event, offers a unique glimpse into a pivotal moment in American history. Gold diggers headed to Dawson City in 1898 during the Klondike Gold Rush, hoping to strike it rich. This mass migration marked one of the most significant gold rushes in history, as thousands of prospectors braved harsh conditions in search of fortune. The opening ceremonies at Woodstock in 1969 marked the beginning of an iconic music festival. Thousands of attendees gathered in a field in New York, where peace, music, and counterculture collided, creating a defining moment in the history of music festivals and the era. A young Winston Churchill is captured in a rare photograph, showcasing the future British Prime Minister in his early years. Known for his determination and leadership, This image reflects the beginnings of a man who would play a pivotal role in shaping history during World War II. Elvis Presley is seen being sworn into the Army in 1958, marking a significant moment in his life and career. Despite being at the peak of his fame, Elvis enlisted to serve his country, demonstrating his patriotism and commitment to duty during a pivotal time in his life. The first official presidential portrait of John Quincy Adams was painted during his time in office in the early 19th century. This portrait captures the 6th President of the United States, reflecting the dignity and seriousness with which he approached his role in shaping the nation's future. The end of the Great Wall of China at Shanghai Guan Pass marks the point where the wall meets the sea. This dramatic location symbolizes the wall's purpose of defending China from invasions while offering a breathtaking view where history and nature converge. In 1923, a bulletproof vest was tested to demonstrate its effectiveness in protecting wearers from gunfire. This early test highlighted advancements in personal armor technology, which would later evolve to improve safety for military and law enforcement personnel.